The longtime event planner and promoter Sheldon Kagan retired earlier this year after 50 years in the spotlight. Today his legacy lives on. Kagan has donated his music collection to Vanier College. He launched the business that became his empire when he was only 15 years old, starting out spinning records at weddings and other functions and eventually growing his business into concert promotion. Over the past 5 decades, Sheldon Kagan International has produced over 75 major concerts. He has brought artists like Dionne Warwick, Miles Davis, and the Duke Ellington Orchestra all to Montreal. And Sheldon joins us now in studio. How are you doing today?
Good. Great to be here.
And congratulations on your retirement. Very nice move by donating your collection. Was it tough to give it up?
It was very tough because I started the collection in 1965, collecting record by record and building it up to a small record rack and then a big rack, and then in the end it was a whole room full of records. So it's something that was very important to me, but I'm so happy now to have done this because I know that it's going to be in a great place. It's going to be used by potentially thousands of people, and it's there anytime I want to go. We set up turntables. You can, I of course can go in and spin a record. It's amazing.
What does it mean to you, though, to give it specifically to Vanier?
Well, I did a lot of research. There was many options. When I retired, I knew I wasn't going to keep my music. I wasn't going to keep my sound system. I wanted to sell my house, move into a condo. So I looked around and said, what do I do with it? And talking to people, talking to friends, doing research, I realized that Vanier had a phenomenal music department. And I got into dialogue with the deans of the music department and many people at Vanier because I was concerned, what's going to happen to my record collection? Is it going to be safe? Is it going to get damaged? And they reassured me. I felt so good. We went ahead and we proceeded. They came with truckloads to pick up, the records. And yesterday, was the official announcement. I announced it in the auditorium at Vanier. There were students there. They had an incredible group of musicians, third-year students that played that sounded almost as good as the Commodores and Dionne Warwick, and did great jazz like Dizzy Gillespie, who I just booked as my first concert. So we really are proud, and in my family now is excited that we're now part of the Vanier family.
Exactly, because you've got your name on it. Tell us about that.
So there'll be a Linda and Sheldon Kagan Music Library. At the moment, they're doing an incredible amount of work labeling all the records. I mean, there's 45s, there's LPs, there's CDs. There's a whole cassette collection that I've been collecting for years that's all categorized already by artist and by song. So the work, this will happen for the next couple of months, right, and then they'll officially launch it. But all my other items are all around the university. So when we walked into the to the college, it was crazy because I had my little grandson who's just 2 months old, and he was going up to the windows and finding pictures of me, and and he was saying like, Zeta, Zeta.
Were there any items that you just couldn't let go of, those certain ones that you held on to?
Well, I still have about maybe a dozen paintings that are in part of our dining room right now, because at my new condo I don't have nearly the space that I used to have. So we'll have to see, as we finish decorating, which ones I'll put up, and then the balance, of course, is still going to go to Vanier.
What is your hope for the students who will access this collection in the future?
Well, it's a learning experience. I mean, first of all, years ago, my son looked at a turntable in the basement and said, "Dad, what is this?" And I said,
I don't doubt it.
and then he started playing it, and he started DJing on it. So the students are you can learn so much about music. Music is such a part of our life. So there's going to be a great education. There's going to be a great experience for them to have the music there. And I intend to go back to Vanier once in a while to speak to the students and talk about motivation and doing what you want to do and going for it.
Right. You've been so successful, as we said, 50 years in promotion as an entrepreneur. What is your advice to people who wish to get into that field one day?
Well, it's like any field. Nothing is easy. You have to really believe in what you want to do and follow your dreams. It's much easier now. When I first booked my shows at Place des Arts, I couldn't go to Google and say, punch in Madonna and find out how to reach Madonna. It was an incredible amount of work reaching the agents in New York and LA to find things out. So now with the new technology, it's incredible. So for the students that want to get into music, that want to get into performing, to want to get into musical engineering, there's so much at their fingertips. It's amazing. But it really is, like everything else, competitive. So you really got to go for it, work really hard. I mean, you know, my early years were very, very difficult, but I stuck with it. I expanded. I went from me as a DJ. Then at one point I had 7 DJs. Then I said, how can I get more business? How can I get weddings? Hey, I'm going to start a wedding show. So I started my Salon de la Mariée. You know, then I got into other artists. So it always a progression that continued, but I never gave up. Never in these 50 years that I said,
Never give up.
you know, never. You know, and you know, when I announced a few months ago that I was going to retire, that was very strange feeling.
Right.
You know,
Speaking of retirement, are you happy?
I'm ecstatic. I really am. I wasn't sure of how I would cope with it. And I'm very busy, but on my own terms. You know, I used to go away on vacation for a week, or mostly a week, sometimes 10 days, and then I'd get back to my office. Now I'm off on vacation this weekend. I booked a flight for a week, but maybe I'm going to change while I'm there and do 10 days or 12 days. So I don't have the commitments. I'm supporting a lot of organizations. I'm donating my time to different charities because I want to give back to the community. So, and I don't want to stay still, but I can really do whatever I want to do. And Linda, my son Barry and Marlene are really happy. We have a brand new condo, and life is great.
Good to hear. Thanks so much for that, Sheldon, and congratulations to you on the big donation to Vanier.
Great, thanks.